We traveled through New Orleans, up the Mississippi River about 2 miles, and then headed out into about a 20-mile run that was in the Gulf. So it was open water and it was rough. It was a lot rougher than it looks in this video. The most that we've seen, the roughest that we've seen so far.
Then we got to Bay St. Louis and we had to wait for this railroad bridge to open. And again, it was rough on both sides of this bridge, and the current was was pretty strong. We were pushed around pretty good trying to get under that bridge, but we made it into the marina at Bay St. Louis.
I was so glad to get into the marina. We had had about 2, 3 hours of really rough seas, and it was a welcome sight at the end of a very long day. We stayed at the Bay St. Louis Municipal Marina, which was a very nice marina. And we ended up staying there about 10 days, which we didn't expect to do, but there were a lot of storms. We had a cold front come through, which was the coldest that had ever been at that time of the year for Mississippi. And we stayed there 10 days, which was a good place to be, because we were right at the base of the downtown area that had shopping and restaurants and bars, and it had great nightlife. So it was a really fun place to be.
This particular restaurant here, my mom lived in Slidell, Louisiana, and which is maybe 30, 40 minutes from Bay St. Louis, and we used to come over and eat at Trapani's all the time, and it was nice. They're known for their fried green tomatoes.
The shopping was great. The restaurants were really good. And we had dinner with Chris's brother Brian, and his wife Benita were able to come and visit us a couple of times while we were there.
It was a wonderful place to be for 10 days. The weather was horrible, but we had a good time. The nightlife, there was always people milling in the street. All the restaurants and bars had live music. It was one of the best places, marina experiences we've had. It was really nice. Um, we walked around. We stayed out late. We went to antique stores and gift shops and art galleries, and it was just a great place. The weather was bad. We got caught out in the rain several times, but it was a good walking around area, if you know what I mean.
We rented a car and decided to go over to Biloxi.
To the aquarium, which here's some video of the aquarium. If you've never seen a video of a fish before. But it was fun. We had a good time. We did some shopping and provisioning because we had a car, but we rented a car while we were there for a few days, and the aquarium was really nice.
The aquarium people told me that there were turtles somewhere, and I looked everywhere for those turtles, and I never found them.
And I'm thinking, here is the biggest collection of bait I've ever seen. And then we headed out to go to Mobile Bay, and again it was pretty rough that day. Not as rough as before, but we probably wouldn't have left when it was this rough, but we had to get to Pensacola Beach where we were going to meet Brian and Benita for Thanksgiving. So it took a couple of days to make it over there. After we got into Mobile Bay and up into the back industrial waterway, we started running into lots of houses. Now this is the beginning of the houses being on the waterway with all their boat docks and stuff. Up until now, it was all industrial, but now it's turning into more resorts and more hotels and housing and townhouses. The weather was beautiful. It kind of warmed up a little bit. We all had protected waters. It was nice. We had a good time.
Once we passed through Mobile Bay, we were officially on the loop. We ended up being in a convoy of looper boats that were also coming down from Mobile Bay. It says free boat on the side.
Free boat.
Yep, free boat. It washed ashore, I guess, through a hurricane. Everywhere we were looking, the beaches just got prettier and prettier. I could not believe that these beaches were on the intercoastal waterway because I'm so used to Texas and Louisiana where it was all industrial, but this was just gorgeous. The water was so pretty. Again, I'm from Texas, and that's not what the water looks like in Texas, and it's not what the beaches look like either. So the water was greens and blues, and it just was beautiful.
As we got closer and closer to Pensacola, the water was just bluer and prettier. It was very nice. We kept along the waterway. It took us 2 days to get there. And you can see here that there's palm trees. I mean, it's just empty beaches. There's a Pensacola Bay is straight ahead. The ocean is to the right, and the land part, the mainland is to the left. And you can just see it was very beautiful.
It took us 2 or 3 days to get here. We anchored out twice. One time at Dolphin Island, which was at the base of Mobile Bay, and the second time we anchored out in Ingram Bayou, which was across the intercoastal waterway from Orange Beach. And it was both of them were beautiful anchorages.
Now here, I think we're going to be. This is the Air Force Base in Pensacola.
Green water.
That's one of the buildings there. I don't remember the Air Force Base at all, what its name was. But it was the home of the Blue Angels. And we were looking, they had like the water towers all painted on the base real colorfully, like with a checkerboard. And I think these are F-22s flying around over the Air Force Base. And we just, chugged along 8 miles an hour. It was a beautiful day. We're eating sandwiches and listening to music. It was really a nice day, a good cruise. Absolutely stunning views of these beaches, mile after mile of beaches. This is not the beach road. This is farther down. So if you're not down doing this this traveling, you really wouldn't get to see the beach. We got to Pensacola Beach, and we anchored up in
Little Sabine Bay,
which was like all hotels and restaurants all around where the anchorage was.
it was all enclosed.
Yeah, it was pretty safe, which is good because we had a big storm. And this Pensacola Beach water tower was right above where we were anchored.
We were able to dinghy over. We were anchored out, so we dinghied over to Shaggy's restaurant. They had a little beach.
When you say dinghy, we took the dinghy off the boat and went by boat to shore.
And we stayed at there, and we were able to pull up to their beach and eat lunch. And when we talked to the manager, he said we made arrangements, and we were able to use that as our getting off the boat point. So we
needed some place to keep the dinghy like at night when we went out to bars and restaurants. And my brother had a condo, and this is Portofino. He had a condo in one of the towers there for Thanksgiving, and we had a great time. We played in the pool, and it was a really nice, fun, holiday. This is the view from my brother's condo at Portofino, and you could see like this, was it beach coastline, I guess? It was like a park, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. One side, on the left side, is the intercoastal waterway and the Pensacola Bay, and then on the right side is the Gulf of Mexico. And then Saturday night happened, and we had a storm coming in There were 37-mile-an-hour winds, and again, we were on anchor. Luckily, we were in this little cove, but
So we didn't have waves, but the wind and the rain blew and blew and blew. It was like I sat out on the bridge from 4 in the afternoon to 6 in the morning, just ready to start the boat. And if the anchor gave way, because we only had maybe 100 feet before we would have slid, by the wind blowing us into a marina. So it was a long night.
And the fun part was we also had tornado warnings. So, and there was no place to go. But we were able to finish and we got through the night and our anchor held great. And then the morning we left, we were going right in front of the Portofino resort, and his brother was able to take these pictures of our boat off in the distance. So we looked like a little speck. Between the rain and the storms and the cold weather, we didn't get very many videos and we didn't get very many pictures during this time. So please hang in there with us. We are getting better and taking more videos and all of our adventures. We're trying to document all of our adventures as we're moving along. Please subscribe and keep on a lookout for our next video.